All right, so today we're going to be discussing 3D puff. Can everyone hear me? All right, so today's subject is going to be our puff. So what we're going to start off with is we're going to click here and we're going to open a new page. Okay, then we're going to click on embroidery. After we get on embroidery, we're going to go over to lettering. We'll click on lettering. And what you're going to see here is you're going to be able to change your size font. Okay, so this is a little bit over 1/2 inch. That's the first thing you're going to see on there. Following thing is we're going to do is we're going to select our font. So what type of lettering we are going to select. Okay. You're going to be able to select all of them. My favorite is Advantage, so I always click on Advantage. Once I select the one font that I would like, I click on OK. And then I type in my text. Okay. So I'm going to go with caps, and I'm going to type in ColDesi. Once I type in, I press my enter button, and we should have gotten our text out. Now, I always like to zoom in so I could actually see my design a little better. Okay, some of us would have to zoom in more than others, but just make sure you zoom in to your best view. After you're done zooming in, let's see if I could bring this over to this side, my chat. Okay. I'm going to click on my object manager. Now my object manager is always my best friend. Okay. Just moving my design over. So to do that, what I do is I click somewhere near my text, and wherever I see my compass arrow directions here, I click on my mouse and move it around wherever I would like to place it. Okay. And then to get out of that mode, you just click out of your design and you will see. So what I am going to do here is I am going to open up my characters. Okay. So my characters, what the characters are, is the text, okay, ColDesi, and then it tells you on here your font, all right? And it also explains to you on here, and it gives you the amount of stitches. So today's subject is about puff, all right? So the only one that I am going to create out of the whole ColDesi is going to be the seed that I am going to create it and make it into a puff. I'm going to click on my body. Now, the only thing that I am going to do on here is make sure that I don't have any underlay. Okay, so whenever you're creating a puff, you can't have any underlay. Okay, because what's going to happen is once you place your puff on your garment and you press start, the underlay is going to compress your puff. So obviously you're going to squash down, right? It's going to be squeezing it. So we don't want that. So we don't want any underlay. So you're going to make sure that you go on there and you select and you make sure you have no underlay, no type of underlay. After you do that, pretty much what you want to do is go over to your object manager. You want to select down in the bottom on your object inspector onto body. Okay. So once you have body, you're going to look for density. And that's basically here. What we want to do is we want to double everything up. So this one said 4.5. Right. So I am, instead of making it a 9, I'm gonna round it out and make it a 10. So 10, and then you got to press enter to make sure you got it in. And I like to hit enter again to make sure that we have it. Now, you're going to see that the density, what's going to happen with the density, it is going to make up, all right, for that extra garment to be on there, which is going to be your puff over your garment, all right? So your stitch is going to jump a little further away apart from each other, okay? So that's going to make up for it. So you doubled up on your density, and everything else you leave alone, okay? Once you create your design and you have all that done, what I like to do is move this back over here. What I like to do is I like to go into my embroidery, select my path, and select a path with a running stitch. Now, usually everyone does it first. I like to do it last. I like to create my design. And then I like to zoom in, make sure I am on my curve node, since we're going to be creating a curve here. Have that there with my corner. And I like to create a running stitch on the inside, okay? On the inside of the part of the text that you are going to create a puff, or it could be your whole design, okay? So basically what you want to do there is you want to create this because you want to know where you're going to lay that piece of extra garment, which is going to be your puff. So you want to make sure that that sews out first, okay? And then you have you lay your puff. So this is the way it's going to work. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to zoom in. I am going to click on the inside of my design. I'm going to get rid of my corner node. Okay. Now this is the reason why I like to create my design first. My hand is not too steady, so I like to make it easier for myself. I don't want to try to create a C without me having something to be guided by. I'm going to click on my corner here. Since I'm doing a curve with a corner, I'm going to click on there, and then I'm going to click over to my left, just one click, and get rid of my curve and click on my straight node. I'm going to leave it on my straight node, and then another click, and I'm going to convert back into my curve node. All right, make another flow stitch on here. And the reason why I like to use my corner node is because you get a better turn or a better corner than just using. You got to make sure you're on lock. All right, there we go. Should be good now. There we go. What just happened there is when you use your corner node, when you click on it, you have to click on it again to uninstall it, okay? So we got to make sure that we do that part. Continue to click on here. All right. Press enter. Zoom out. Move you folks over to this side. Now you're going to see that I am going to highlight my path with the running stitch that I just created, okay? I am going to highlight that. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to drag that blue line. You got to make sure you have that blue line to be able to bring that back to the top. So the first thing that I want to sew that is going to be my path with a running stitch. And bring it all the way up. Make sure I click on there, have that line, and bring it above. And we got to make sure that your path with a running stitch is the first thing. Okay. So basically, what's going to happen now is when you're done creating your text and you load it onto your machine, you're going to make sure that you put in that path running stitch first. So that's the first thing that's going to sew out. You set your machine for it to stop after that path running stitch is done sewing, and you lay your garment over that stitch. You could take down your garment with Scotch tape. Yes, you could tape it down with Scotch tape. Everyone that I know does it that way. Once you easily, your needle goes over it very easily, and you can remove it very easily. Okay. And whatever you don't remove that you didn't see or you missed, it will wash away. Okay, definitely it will. So once you're done laying your garment on there, you press start. Okay. Once you press start, you're going to see that it starts stitching over your puff. And once that's done, everything else will sew out. You see here, if everyone could hold on for a second here. Let me see. Thanks. 1 second, I'll be right back. All right, everyone, I do apologize. All right, so I'm back. And what we're going to do, anybody has any questions at all on this so far? We also have, with one of the other texts, we have the same video, okay? So you could, if there was anything that you missed from what I mentioned, you can always refer back to this video or refer to the video that was done before. You could go into our website. Okay, is on Tech Talk. You can also visit our Facebook page. You know, very helpful. We have a lot of clients on there that you ask any questions, and before that we can reply, everyone shows their skills. You know, they reply back to you quicker than what we would sometimes. All right, so I'm going to create something else here. I'm going to my embroidery mode, go into my lettering, and type in text. Okay. Now what we're going to do after here, we want to make sure that let's grab our text, move it over. I got to bring over. Let's get there. I'm going to open up like the previous one, my text font. So I am going to select, let's say if I just wanted to make the X, make sure I open her up and I check all her columns, okay? Because this is what's going to happen now. Once I go into body, which is already highlighted, what I want to look for is very, very important is to make sure that it says no underlay, okay? You have to make sure that you put on no underlay. So I'm going to click on my next one. Also, I don't have any underlay, and I am going to change my lines, okay, which is my density. And I am going to make it a 10. Usually we'll double it with one more, okay? And usually that's what I do. If it's a 5, I make it into a 10 or 11, it depends. Now, if you notice here, I am going to have to change this 3 times here because this X has 3 sections, all right? So you got 3 columns, like you can see on here. So you have to make sure, okay, that you select every single column on the text, on the letter that you're trying to create. Okay, and you see that I always hit enter twice is just to double check that I am good. You're going to see how the density changes on this. You see this, guys? There's how much more thread is in there, okay, than it is on here. Now, since we got that done, on this one is going to be a little different, okay? We're going to go into our path, and we want to select our path with our running stitch, okay? So on this one here, I am going to create is just going to be 2. So I'm going to go 1. Let me change my color. Then actually see 2. Now I'm going to hit enter there. And then 1 and 2 and hit enter there. Okay. Now the next step that we want to do is we want to make sure that we grab our path with the running stitch and we bring it above the actual text. Okay. Let's see. We're going to actually bring that one. And that is how you will set it. So the first thing that's going to sew out is going to be your X, which is just going to be your path with the running stitch. Then it's going to sew out your TE, and then the machine is going to know when you set it to stop at your X. Okay, so it's going to be your 3rd color. Any other questions? Any doubts on anything? All right, so that's going to be it on this segment. Just make sure you log in if you have any other questions and you watch our videos. All righty, thank you very much, everybody. Have a great weekend and talk to you soon. All right, everyone.